Welcome back to Tips with Trev, the show where I give developing baseball players some easy tips to end their slumps faster and become a superstar sooner. Let's talk about nasty changeups. It would be impossible for me to tell you exactly how to throw a nasty changeup because everyone's different, everyone's hands are different, their thoughts are different, their delivery is different, their arm angle is different. It's all different. So I'm going to teach you what makes a nasty changeup and what the important factors are so you can go out and practice and know what to look for and how to evaluate your own changeup. There's three things that are really important, how I see it. Number one, move your body the same. Now it has to look the same from the plate. That's really all that matters. As long as the hitter thinks that it looks the same and can't pick up any differences, you're good to go. There's a lot of people in the big leagues that I can look from the side in the dugout and say, that's a changeup. I can tell right away that they're throwing a changeup, but they're some of the most effective changeups in the game because to the hitter, it looks the exact same. So one way to practice this, set up a camera in the batter's box as you're throwing. It can be off to the side a little bit, but the closer you can get to the batter's box, the better. Perhaps you need to set it behind a net, so in case you miss, you don't hit the camera. But have someone stand in the batter's box and hold the phone video kind of up by their face, maybe video you that way, and then you can overlay a fastball and a changeup in video production software, and you can watch through it in slow motion. You know, where do I change? Are they the same? Are they different? Do they look the same? Do they look different? But do it from the plate. Don't do it from the side because the hitter's perspective is really all that matters. And a key tip, perspective from the right-handed batter's box and the left-handed batter's box is completely different. So you should probably check both. All right, the next thing that matters, number two, is that you got to start the pitch off looking like a strike. If it doesn't look like a strike, then you're not going to get a swing on it. Now, there's one time that you may not want it to look like a strike. If you're trying to freeze someone with a changeup, let's say you have a lot of run to your changeup and you want to start it off the plate and bring it back over the plate, that can be very effective. Generally speaking, that can be effective for a righty to a righty or for a lefty to a lefty because if they see it outside of the zone, they're likely going to take, and if they do start to swing, they're likely going to think it's a fastball and be way out in front of a pitch that's away from them. But generally speaking, you're looking at a changeup to generate swing. You want to get either swing and miss, or you want to get out in front in contact, maybe roll a ground ball, create weak contact, something like that. And you're looking to create some doubt in the hitter's head. So if you throw this pitch and it looks like a strike coming out of your hand, the initial trajectory looks like it's going middle of the zone, so middle elevation, middle left to right, middle, that's going to create the most chance that a hitter's going to buy into that. That's a good thing if you have a good changeup because you're going to get him out in front, you're going to create some weak contact, and it's going to disguise all your other pitches so that he doesn't know, is that a fastball, is that a breaking ball, is that a changeup? It's going to catch him in the middle and make him think about it. So the second most important thing to do on a changeup, start it middle. And then if you start it middle, you might think, well, it's going to end up middle, and that's not good. So here's how to get some movement on it. Here are the things that really matter on movement. And that's number three, get the right movement on the pitch. There's a couple things that dictate the movement. You got velocity, you got spin rate, and you have gravity. Well, sorry, velocity, spin rate, gravity is velocity, and then you have spin axis, So, number one, velocity. The longer the ball stays in the air, the more chance gravity has to pull it down. So you're going to get more drop on the ball, all right? This can be releasing the ball further back, so it has to travel further. This can be throwing it slower. But the more time it spends in the air, the more the ball is going to drop, which is going to give you a better chance of getting swing and miss. Number two is spin rate. If a ball is not spinning at all, then it's going to drop with gravity. You're not going to create any lift to it. Think of a knuckleball, all right? The harder you throw a knuckleball, the less it drops, but that's because it's in the air less time, so gravity is affecting it less. But it's not creating any movement due to spin, it's just kind of fluttering in whatever air pockets are there along the way to the plate. Conversely, if you throw a really high spin four seam fastball that's spinning maybe 3,000 RPM, you're going to create a lot of lift. Not actually going up, but you're creating a force that's fighting against gravity so the ball stays up longer. So on a changeup, if you're looking for depth on it, which is generally what you're looking for, you want to start it here and have it kind of bottom out and disappear or run, then you want it to be in the air longer, you want it to be pulled down by gravity, and you want it to be not spinning very much to create that lift, all right? And the third thing is the spin axis. All right, so if you have dead backspin on the ball, and I covered this in my Magnus Force video, so check that out if you haven't already. But if you have dead backspin on the ball, you're going to create lift. If you have dead side spin on the ball, you're going to create run. So generally speaking, the best changeups in the big leagues have dead side spin. They create no lift, and they have high spin rate, so they get a lot of run to them, and they get no lift. So it looks like it's running and dropping, so it has this kind of tailing off, almost like split effect. Now, it's really hard to get dead side spin on a changeup. Pretty much the only people who can accomplish this, and this isn't a rule, this is just a general, generalizing it. But it's people who throw sidearm. I mean, think of like the Chris Sales of the world who have a really low arm angle. Think of the Max Scherzers of the world who have a kind of a low arm angle. They're generally able to create close to dead side spin. Now, if you start creeping up, like me, my arm angle is, I don't know, maybe like about here, where my wrist is. So I'm going to create even amounts of backspin and side spin, which is not the best for a changeup. So I don't want high spin rate. But those are the three controlling factors of movement. You have velocity, you have spin axis, and spin rate. Generally speaking, if you can optimize two of them, you're going to have a very good changeup. So what do I mean by that? If you throw a changeup slow that has low spin, it really doesn't matter how it's spinning. It's going to be effective because you're going to create that drop. If you throw a changeup slow with side spin and it's spinning right, then the spin rate really doesn't matter. In fact, you'd probably want higher spin rate so you can get more lateral movement because you're not going to get any lift. You're going to get the drop because it's spinning sideways. If you spin a changeup sideways and you spin it slow, it doesn't really matter how hard it is because you're going to get the drop that you're looking for anyway. So you got to optimize two of them. If you don't optimize two of them, you might end up in a situation where you throw a changeup fast and you spin it a lot and it has backspin, and then it just becomes kind of a bad fastball. Or you throw it slow, but it spins fast and it spins with backspin, and then you're really only relying on gravity to drop it down, and hitters are going to be able to time that a lot better. So if you can get all three of them, that's good. Two of them generally means you have a really good changeup. One of them, you're fighting an uphill battle. So to recap today's episode, make your body look the exact same from the batter's box. Make sure you start the pitch in the middle of the zone so you get the swing and you get the buy-in from the hitter, and then get 2 out of 3 of the things that influence movement: velocity, spin axis, and spin rate. Optimize 2 of those 3 and get all 3 of the main topics, you're going to have a really good changeup. You should probably throw it a lot. That's all for today's video. I hope you learned something. If you did, share this video with someone who could improve their changeup and who needs some help on it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.